What about our capabilities or flexibility about the control?
Well, the control system and the touch panel on the Silver Weibull batch machines are fairly easy to understand from the operator's point of view. It can be optimized for various Mastercrete data and properties. You have the possibility to change the acceleration ramp when needed from 100% to 90% to 80%. Normally, when changing the acceleration ramp, you are reducing the time on the centrifuging time, top time.
The spinning time.
The spinning time, because on the top or the end of the acceleration time is more or less acting as it would be the spinning time.
Okay.
Also, you can change the braking or acceleration time if necessary due to your electrical system. So you can also reduce it from 100% to 80% in steps of 5.
I see that you have a charge acceleration.
Yes, it's correct. We are accelerating slowly when we are charging Mastercrete into the machine. We have seen great advantage doing that, and the Mastercrete is then walling up, or you're creating a vertical wall of sugar quicker.
Oh, in the sugar layer?
In the sugar
layer,
yes.
Okay.
So that is the reason, and you also, of course, then can go on to the acceleration phase quicker, and you can save some time in the acceleration.
Okay, and what about the link with the short, with the fast closing charging valve?
That, of course, is helping, because then you can go over from charging time or charging phase to acceleration phase quicker, and you will change some time in the entire cycle time when you're increasing the capacity in the machine.
Per cycle?
Per cycle, yes.
Exactly. What about our lubrication system? Why we are using oil?
Well, first of all, the oil mist system we are using was designed and developed by SKF and made a revision about it in 1999. They recommend using oil mist lubrication system on vertical machines.
Instead of grease?
Instead of grease, yes.
Okay.
The advantage is, of course, that you are having a closed system where you are transporting the small amount of oil in the bearings and is collecting the oil in a collecting bottle after it's been exiting from the bearing. It gives an overpressure in the bearing house. It gives you a cooler effect on the bearings. It keeps dust and vapor out of the bearing, and it's also effective as a lubrication point. We're using only about 1 liter per week, or 7 to 10 grams per hour of oil. The oil is, of course, food grade oil. So that's it. We see a big advantage by using this compared to the grease.
What about the temperature? Because lubricating oil.
The temperature, due to that it's transported with air, has a cooling effect. Plus that we have the vented area at the top of the support structure. So this coming in cool air or cooler air into the bearing as well.
And what about the? You are sure all the oil is just coming to the return vessel?
Yes, it's a closed system and it's a sealed system, so all the oil is coming to the oil return bottle. Yes. And the oil, of course, as I repeat, is of food grade oil, and the consumption is very low.
So there is no problem if any oil or spillage is coming to the sugar?
No, it's not at all as if you are using grease, and which can contaminate coming down into the sugar while it's traveling through the centrifugal shaft if you're using grease.
So what is the expected span life of the bearings?
The expected lifetime at least 10 years before you need to change the bearings. But we have customers in Spain, in the Miranda Ebro, who installed centrifugals in the mid-90s and is still using the original bearings.
More than 20 years.
More than 20 years, yes. So that's good evidence that we are using the correct lubrication system.
But this is just working only in Europe? This
No,
lubrication system?
we're using it in Latin America, in Argentina, we're using it in Australia, Asia, Middle East, Africa. So it's a well-known system in all over the world on the Silver Weibull centrifugals.
And what about if I run out of oil? How I avoid that?
You will receive, there is a sensor on the mist lubricator which will warn you on your control system when you are on a low level, to give you a warning that it's time for you to fill the oil mist lubricator with oil. And if you don't do that after a certain time, the machine will close down and on the next cycle, so you're not able to damaging the bearings.
Okay. What is this part?
This is a cleaning pipe for a continuous centrifugal. So where you can do a cleaning, let's say once a day, or when you're stopping the machine for maintenance or off season, or you don't have enough of massacrit, you can clean out the complete from sugar and clean it, so it's scaling. So it's nice and clean when you intend to start it again next time.
Okay. What is the advantage of a washing system?
The Silver Weibull washing system was developed using high-speed cameras some years ago, and we have found out that if you wash at the same rotation at the basket with an optimum angle, you have overlapping wash nozzles to cover the entire surface. If one is clogged, you still have two nozzles to cover the surface. You have a low pressure, which gives a minimum splashing or bouncing back from the sugar surface. You get a low consumption, and the possibility to use various wash medias, water, steam, fin juice, remelt in the same wash pipe. And you have a liftable, retractable wash pipe, so you're not getting it damaged by massacrit or other accidents. Okay. This is a wash pipe for our continuous centrifugal. So here you can see that you can adjust the washing part of on the screen by you have three different parts or the places where you can attach your nozzle. You see the wash nozzle here in the lower part. It can be moved, or you can have one more, or you can have another one, three. Either one or two or three. And you can have the washing in this area, or you can have the washing in this or this.
So you adjust it to the optimum point of washing?
Yes.
Okay. Hi. What can you tell me about the feature of the basket?
The feature of the basket, you have first of all a number of large holes for the first separation of the massacrit, and then in the second part or the last part we have a rim here or an opening here to take the final molasses before the crystal leaves the upper edge of the basket. Here we have a special distance, or we have done a special knot to make sure that the crystal is leaving on the inner radio of the basket instead of the outer radio.
That is meaning they are having less velocity?
Yes, it has less velocity, less speed when it exits the basket, and it also saves you 3 to 4% in energy.
Oh, that's interesting. So that means the crystal damage will be lower?
Crystal damage is lower, yes, correct.
Okay. Jonas, why you have this configuration the basket?
Well, this is the basket you can see here without the hub, which we are taking here and then put onto the basket hub, and we bolt it from the below up to the basket. One of the reasons is, of course, that then we connect this one to the bearing house.
With the shaft in
the middle, yes. And then you have the bearing cup here, and you have so the massacrit enters here from the middle, and then it goes from the accelerator valve up to the basket screen.
So this one is rotating with the basket.
Yes.
So we will have all this mass and all this diameter giving more stability to the basket.
Yes. That and together with that you have a bearing here when you will get the upper bearing above the center of gravity. It means that you get an optimum angle from the center of gravity to the vibration dampers.
Okay.
And that is important. If you have had a lower bearing with a lower upper bearing, you would have the center of gravity above the upper bearing. And that can give you quite some heavy vibrations if you have hard machinery to centrifuge operate. Yes.
But that will mean also a lower span life of the bearings.
Yes, that's true. But here, because here you have the same oil mist lubrication for the bearings as we had on our batch centrifugals.
Okay. Can you explain me why you have this tank here?
Yes, this tank is actually an emergency tank, which is a safety factor. It's enough air if the client is losing air in the factory, you can still continue finalizing the cycle of the batch machine.
Even if that's happening just after the feeding?
Even if it just happened after the feeding, so there's enough air in the tank to finalize the cycle and then stop.
That's very nice. And what about this one?
This one is the connection and the valves for the supply of the water and steam if you want to wash with two different medias.
In the same pipe?
In the same pipe, yes.
And what is the advantage of that?
Well, the advantage is that if you save water, if you want to spray instead, and of course some areas in the world you want to have the final touch with
steam.
And then you can use the same. Instead of having two steam pipes or two wash pipes, you can have one in common.
Oh, that will be nice, because also that will be cleaning the pipe and they will avoiding the dropping in the...
That's correct. You will not have a dripping in the machine when you are running it on spin, for spinning.
Thank you. Hi. What is the advantage of our discharge system?
The Silver Weibull plow system has a unique patented plow blade tip, which you can see there's a building of the sugar cube or sugar tip onto the surface of the screen, and the sugar is actually plowing out sugar. The advantage is, of course, that you are not getting a force on the screen. You have no metal to metal on the screen, which saves the screen for a long lifetime. You get a completely clean screen, which also has minimizing the recirculation of sugar. As an example, if you are keeping 1 or 2 millimeter onto the screen, you're recirculating at least between 10 and 20 kilos of sugar every cycle. So that's the major advantage of the sugar tip, or the solution of the discharger tip.
And also it's saving washing time.
It's saving washing time because you are reducing the screen wash by not having any sugar onto the screen.
Hi. Can you explain me why this discharger tip?
Yeah, here we have the discharger tip with patented for Silver Weibull, where you can see how we adjust this, the customer adjusts, or when we do commissioning, we adjust the tip for 1 millimeter from the screen on the back and 2 millimeter from the screen on the front. What makes that we are creating a trap of sugar, and the sugar goes in here and creating a tip of sugar, which is then it's discharging. The sugar is discharged by sugar.
Making a layer here.
Making a layer there, so you can see that you get a completely clean screen.
Without any contact of the metal with the screen.
That's saving the screens as well, the lifetime.
And what is this pipe over here?
This pipe is the blow pipe. When the discharge, the plow blade is in the bottom of the basket, you have some sugar on its way out, and on the outlet cone, it blows the spokes and the outlet cone clean from sugar, so all the remaining sugar goes out into the conveyor as well.
Oh, so then, okay.